way as he makes his Major League debut. And as we go up to our game announcers, Brian Anderson and Bill Schroeder, it was really that trade back in July 2015 with the Astros, the Carlos Gomez trade. Phillips was one of the 4 prospects acquired in that trade, along with Domingo Santana, and it kind of feels like a full circle moment of these prospects starting to arrive after that trade.
Yep, and that was the trade that Doug Melvin made that really started the process for the rebuild, and I don't think the Brewers consider themselves rebuilt. But to see a guy like Brett Phillips arrive here today, he's going to be with Domingo Santana, 2 of the outfielders that were in that trade. I mean, what's going to be the biggest challenge for him tonight, would you say?
Well, he's got to calm down a little bit, but he's a guy that can get ramped up pretty good. And, you know, certainly down in the minor leagues, he was doing everything. I mean, as you mentioned, he got picked up in that 2015 trading deadline deal, big prospect. And what we saw from him in spring training the last couple of years, good opposite field power, tremendous center fielder, outfielder in general with a very good arm. He surprised you with his arm strength. He's raw talent. He's going to strike out quite a bit down in the minor leagues, but he does have that opposite field pop. And it's going to be important for him just to get that first at-bat out of the way, get that first ground ball, that first fly ball, and have him relax and settle into the game.
Well, and Brett Phillips and the Brewers will be facing the San Francisco Giants. Has been a down year this year for the Giants. We'll get into their story when we continue after this. Check, check, check. 1 2 1 2. Here we are from beautiful Miller Park. Mic test. Hello, Clarice. Well, there it is. Is there a Samardzija sighting anywhere? Can we spot him at some point? Relowski? Well, now that he's in Milwaukee, we can call him Relowski. Yeah, perfect. We're not doing a pitcher split, so you're saying? No. Yeah, let's get him. I mean, we can come out with him. Calixte. Yeah, I think so. Here's who's pitching.
Giants Baseball on NBC Sports Bay Area is brought to you by Southwest. Yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. By Toyota, the full-line automaker with the longest-lasting vehicles in America. Toyota, let's go places. By State Farm. Combine auto and renters and see how much you can save. Talk to an agent today. And by the 2017 Jeep Cherokee with an EPA estimated 30 highway miles per gallon.
You're looking into downtown Milwaukee, and our game time weather is presented by the Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk. Great time to get to the beach. The admission-free boardwalk is open daily. Temperature 72 degrees. The winds are very light. Humidity at 54%. It is clear, and the roof is open. All right, a quick look at the Giants lineup, and it's brought to you by Southwest Airlines. It'll be Span, Nunez, and Belt. Buster Posey will be the cleanup hitter. Brandon Crawford will hit in the fifth spot. Welcome back to the starting lineup. Hunter Pence. Then it's Panik, Kalikse, and Samardzija.
On the mound tonight will be Junior Guerra. He's making his fourth start this year. He's got pretty good numbers going back to last year. He's 10-3. And you're going to see a lot of velocity from this guy as well. He likes to get you out with his split fingers. So you're going to see a lot of four-seam high riding velocity, sets up the split fingers for the outs. And as you can see there, the usage, the fastball and splitter mainly, curveball for show.
So here's Span as we get ready, and the first pitch of the ball game is on its way, and it's a called strike. So we get started right on time at 6:40. Span overall hitting at .261 with 3 home runs. He's got 11 driven in. And the pitch, and Span pops this one foul down the left field line and out of play, and that got catcher Pena on the backswing, and he got dinged pretty good. I tell you, he's not very pleased about this.
That happened in yesterday's ball game too in Philadelphia. About the same thing. Second swing, popped the grip, back of the head in Philly.
He's got the helmet on. Hard to always try to pin fault on the hitter or the catcher, but you know, you start to lean out a little bit as a catcher, and you kind of, I guess you're kind of thinking that maybe that backswing has already been past you. But it's a quick 0-2, and this is hooked foul, and it remains no balls and 2 strikes.
And that was a splitter right there. Stayed up. Actually didn't do a whole lot of anything there.
Span had a great game on Friday in Philadelphia. Overall in the series went 7 for 13. He is behind in the count, 0-2. With Nunez on deck. And this game gets started with a strikeout. So here's Nunez.
The defense behind Junior Guerra today. You got Nick Franklin, the rookie. Phillips making his debut. Santana on the left side of the infield. You got Perez and Sogard on the right side. VR and Thames, and Pena quite catching.
And they tell us that Pena has got a cannon. So here's Nunez hitting .286, 3 home runs. He's got 21 runs batted in, starting to swing the bat as he takes one inside right off the bat, and it's 1 ball and no strikes. Nunez 5 for 13 in Philadelphia. He had a home run. Just underway here at Miller Park in Milwaukee. And the 1-0 pitch is hit on the ground foul.
Ball boy's right on that one.
Yeah, they got some.
Time for our Togo's big play, the Togo's way. Yesterday, Eduardo Nunez with a solo shot off of Jeremy Hellickson in the top of the first. Backspun it, got the party started for the Giants the right way, just ultimately did not finish that way.
Here's the 1-1 pitch and a high splitter, 1-2, or maybe curveball. Giants are 1-2 on the trip. They're 23 and 35 overall. They've played 14 games in the National League Central, and they're 6-8. Hit on the ground towards the hole and into the hole for a base hit. So got between Perez and Sogard. And the first runner of the game belongs to Eduardo Nunez, and here's Brandon Belt. If you start to look at history of these Giants hitters against Guerra, well, you don't really have to look at all. They don't have any history.
It's a very short list.
They saw him in spring training.
It's a great piece of hitting right there by Nooney.
And now with 13 steals and an overshift for Belt, Guerra will pitch out of the stretch, and got him. So we're finding out that Guerra's got a pretty quick move. Bruce Bochy's going to turn around and look to Ron Wotus to go to the phone.
That's pretty close. It's pretty close, but not enough to have Boach challenge it. Nooney was just taking a lead, not even trying to do too much there. Just Guerra caught him in between steps.
2 outs. And Belt looks at a strike. It's risky losing that challenge in the first inning. And I mean, I think if you really look at it, you probably think that maybe it would be worthwhile a look, but not with those stakes on the line. 1 ball and 1 strike.
No, not with Dunston and Chad Chop. They've done a great job this year. Their numbers have been really good on the challenges.
They really have. 2 balls and a strike with Buster Posey on deck. Here's another look.
Yeah, he got him.
In the dirt. 3-1.
It's much like those tags now you see at second base with the second baseman coming to get the ball.
Right.
It's almost like when you're picking the first throw at the guy diving back as opposed to trying to paint the bag.
Yeah, the throws are into the runner, which they're not a perfect throw, but it turns out that they are. Belt hits a high pop-up foul down the left field line and out of play. Perez, the lone defender on the left side. It's a full count to Brandon Belt, and Bell will take the walk. Well, here's Buster Posey, and safe to say that Buster likes this place.
He's got very good numbers here in Miller Park.
His rookie year, he had a 4 home run series here. And he hit them to all parts of the ballpark. So Belt with his lead. And a strike. And that's called by Ron Culpa. Chris Conroy, Tom Woodring, and Ed Hickox round out the rotation. Culpa, the crew chief.
Culpa has a little bit larger zone. He's really bigger this year than he has been in the past. He usually has a tighter zone, but he will call and expand knee highs both in and away.
Tapper, and it's going to be Perez who makes the play, and that's going to end the inning. No runs, a hit, a pickoff. 1 left. the starting lineup for the Brewers, and that lineup is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. It'll be Sogard, that's right, the former A, then Santana, Thames, and Perez. Pena is going to hit in the 5th slot, followed by Franklin, VR, and a major league debut in Brett Phillips, and Junior Guerra will hit in the 9th spot.
They'll be going against Jeff Samardzija today. He's making his 12th start. The numbers are a little bit deceiving, the 1-7 with a 4.5. But the one thing you really like to see the last couple starts, besides the one in Washington, he's been around the zone and he's punching a lot of tickets. He's 8th in the league with those 84 and 74 and 72 innings, and he's only got 11 walks. You look at Samardzija, you're going to see a lot of velocity as well. He has a little bit of arm side run. He likes to get you out with that slider, but he will mix up all these pitches, and that's what's made him so effective this year. He'll throw any pitch in any count. The defense behind Jeff Samardzija in the outfield, you got Kalixe, Span in center, Pence in right. Left side of the infield, you got Nooney, Crawford. Right side, you got Panik and Belt, and Buster Posey will be doing the catching.
Brewers come in at 30-27. They just had a tough series against the Dodgers. They lost a couple of games in that series late, but did come back and win yesterday. And the first pitch to Sogard is a called strike. Brewers shut out the Dodgers yesterday 3-0. Overall under 500 at home, which is a little unusual. Sogard has made quite an impression on this franchise and this fan base. He's hitting .378. He's got 2 home runs and 9 runs batted in. He's at shortstop in tonight's game, and it's now 1-2. You look at this Brewer lineup, and some of the names you just don't recognize. They've got young players that are doing very, very well. In the dirt, it's 2-2.
There was Buster yet again with coming up.
He catches it.
It's impressive.
There are little leaguers all over Northern California that are catching one-hoppers with 2 feet off the ground. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And a little pop-up. And it's going to fall right in front of Ron Wotus. And it remains 2-2. Not hit high enough for either Buster Posey or Eduardo Nunez to get to it. So Sogard with another opportunity just underway. Beautiful day we had here in Milwaukee. Lots of sunshine, a little foggy this morning, and I think they roll it in just for the folks from San Francisco. Line to right. Pence back. Pence looking up off the bottom of the wall, and Sogard on a 2-2 pitch doubles to open up the bottom of the first.
Samardzija's been mixing it up this whole at bat. Pulls the fastball middle in. Sogard just trying to hang into a bat right there. Got a pitch he could drive and did exactly that. Hunter, to his credit, played a nice ball right off the wall. Fired it back in, but Sogard's got enough speed to get the second.
Yeah, you almost, give him the double, just not the triple. Here's Domingo Santana hitting .270. He's got some power. 10 home runs, 31 driven in. And a foul down the right field line and out of play.
This is one of the best parks for fans of baseball because it's real intimate. You're right on top of the players. And for watching it at home, the camera is actually set up right behind the pitchers, so you can actually see what the pitchers are doing.
Yeah, my other broadcast partner, Mr. Kruko, enjoys that very much. Because you really do get a great perspective of what the ball is doing. And the 1-1 pitch. Foul down the right field line and out of play.
And you can see already Samardzija is mixing it all up, trying to establish the slider.
Domingo Santana was involved in a trade in 2015 when the Brewers sent Carlos Gomez to Houston. And Santana came back to the Brewers in that trade. And he shoots this one to right, and he's got a base hit. That's going to move Sogard to third. That entire at bat, it looked like Santana was trying to hit the ball to right field. And even when he got 2 strikes on him, he did it.
You're exactly right. He just takes the pitch. It's down and away. Takes the legs out of it, as you can see. Just lets the hands work. And slaps it over there. And when you're hot, you're hot. And he's been swinging a hot bat.
Here's Thames, who played the last 3 years in Korea and signed a nice deal in the offseason, and the pitch is outside for a ball, and he hardly made an out in April. Slowed down a little bit, but he has been quite an addition to this Brewer lineup. See his first 20 in the last 31. You don't want to put the ball in the middle of the strike zone to this guy.
Reading a couple articles today was actually saying that this is really his most dangerous inning, that first at bat. All the more reason Samardzija would like to get him out right here.
Absolutely. Swing and a miss. It's 1-2.
There's a hot zone right there, as you can see. He likes to turn and burn. And to his credit, they call him the Babe Ruth in Korea. He had 124 homers, 382 RBIs in 390 games.
Yeah,
so
not bad. Not bad.
He's got some pop. If you're into numbers, he had him.
Runner goes, pitches high. Posey bluffs the throw. And in the second with a steal will be Santana. That's his 5th of the year. Thames graduated from Bellarmine back in the Bay Area. Played some baseball at Pepperdine. And now this becomes a strikeout situation. Instead, we're going to get a fly ball to left. Calixte's over. He's going to make the catch. And Sogard's going to stay at third. He's got a pretty good little arm out in the outfield.
He put that on display. That was refreshing to see.
It really was.
He really got behind it. Calixte went ahead and got the momentum going to home plate. And if Sogard was Chase Utley, I think he would have let that ball hit him.
Yep, I think you're right. So here's Hernan Perez hitting at .271 with 6 home runs, 24 driven in. High fly ball. Calixte is going to get to show it off one more time. There's the catch. Here's the throw. No. Because that ball went behind that area behind home plate, they're going to allow the run to score.
I mean, you got to imagine they talk this before the game. You figure out what the rules are, but that I've never seen that.
That is ridiculous.
Here you see right here, he lets it eat. Samardzija's just trying to play the carom, but it just backspins and stays up on that net.
Well, look.
Hey, look at that, just check up.
Unbelievable. So it'll be a sacrifice fly and then an error on Calixte, and it's 2-0. And here's Pena. You know, it may very well be that this year we're going to see just about everything you could possibly see.
Yeah, I mean, even the Brewers didn't know the ground rules there. It's Cedar backing up.
Here's the 0-1 pitch, and now it's 0-2. Pena at 290. And that pitch is high.
That was a reach back cutter right there. That was 94. You can tell Samardzija's a little hot right now.
He is ticked off. I agree with you. And that's foul. And it's that ad machine behind home plate. The panels.
Yeah, and I mean that checked up like you're trying to have an approach on a green with a golf shot. That you just don't get that kind of bounce normally. Calixte definitely wishes he had that one back.
Well, he made such an impressive throw prior to the last one. And this is hit on the ground to Nunez. And this is going to end the inning. So the unfortunate throw and bounce, it's 2-0.
When you want the best pizza in town, Amici's delivers.
Here in just a bit as Brandon Crawford steps in. And Crawford takes a pitch high, 1 ball and no strikes. Crawford hit a home run in the game yesterday. Takes high and away again. It's 2-0. hitting at .268. He's 1 RBI behind Brandon Belt for the leader on this team. And remember, Crawford was out for a couple
Our chief
of weeks.
drive of the game was yesterday. Brandon Crawford, 2-run homer off of Jeremy Hellickson in the bottom of the 6th, and there he was, showing that opposite field power that he's put on display a few times this year. And the high fives are always a nice sign for the Giants fans.
See if he gets the green light here. He likes the green light, and he's going to take the walk. All right, here's Hunter Pence. Hunter Pence, pinch hit in the game yesterday and went 0 for 1. He did hit a ball extremely hard, but it was right at the shortstop. Ended up being a double play. So here he is, constant motion at the plate. Chokes up a little bit. Crawford with his lead, the pitch. In tight, 5 straight balls. It's 1 ball and no strikes. Up the middle and a base hit. And that's a broken bat base hit. All right, on Tuesday, June 13th, the first 20,000 fans are going to receive a Madison Bumgarner t-shirt, and it's presented by StubHub. It'll be the Giants and the Royals in that series, June 13th and 14th. Tickets are always available at sfgiants.com. There's the bum t-shirt. So here's Joe Panik. Giants fans, there are a few around town. I don't know how, it's hard to tell sometimes if they're Giants fans or not. I think that couple qualify. Evan Abrat here in Milwaukee. Panik at .247, a couple of home runs. He's got 15 runs batted in. Joe was 4 for 12 in Philadelphia. And the pitch, and it's low. 1 ball and no strikes. On deck is Anthony Calixte.
This is where, if we got the scouting report right with Pena, then you got to watch for those back picks if he likes to let it eat.
Foul. Giants, if you just joined us.
Ooh. No catch.
It's all right. My bad.
To his credit, to his feet, tips his cap.
Yeah. If he'd had spikes on, he'd have been fine. There he goes.
Yep.
You wear the bowling shoes to the yard, that's what happens.
Yep. It's not that easy, is it?
Outside. 2 balls and a strike.
Guerra has had last 2 outings. He walked 3 against the Mets and 3 against Arizona, so it can happen for him.
He's on pace.
He's on pace.
Crawford at second, a walk. Pence at first, a base hit. See if Joe Panik gets something here that he can drive. 3-1. And Pena's going to go out and have a word. You can sit on something right here if you're Joe Panik. Joe missed a home run yesterday, but I don't know, 3 or 4 or 5 feet. Garrett, the high set right at the chin. 3-2. It may have been ball 4, but I do believe Bruce Bochy has no problems with panic, letting it fly.
He's trying to do some damage right there on this fastball up. Just kept riding. That's a tough pitch to hit when it can ride that top of the zone right there.
And he might see it again. 3-2. Perez. 1 out. That's a disappointing at bat when you have count leverage and panic upset. So now it's Calixe, who's 4 for 19. And he'd like to do something and not have to leave it up to Jeff Samardzija, who's on deck. Crawford thought about it, and it's high. 1 ball and no strikes. Calixe went 2 for 11 in Philadelphia. Crawford opened up the inning with a walk and Pence with a single. Now VR at second is helping Crawford stay close, and there's a strike. It's the outside corner at 91. No idea why Pena went out and ran through some signs. 1 ball and 1 strike. Nice block. 2-1.
Pat Murphy, the bench coach, might have seen something over there. He's with his brief time down there with San Diego. Maybe he got onto some of Bochy's signs.
Yeah, he ran out in front of home plate, Pena did, and there isn't a whole lot defensively that you can do. Slowly hit. It'll be VR, and we'll throw him out. Both runners advance, and Samardzija is going to hit. Samardzija, his numbers don't show it, but he can swing it. He's got an area, I would say, down and in, that would be his hot spot. He's 2 for 22.
I'd like to see how these Brewers pitchers attack the Giants pitchers compared to how Philadelphia did.
Yeah. And the first pitch, an off-speed pitch, and it's 0-1. He's got a couple of home runs. Those are his career numbers. Pops this one out to left. Side retired. Franklin, VR, Phillips coming up. Here at Miller Park, it's 2-0 Milwaukee.
Smart Play is brought to you by your California Ford dealers. And it was yesterday, coming off the bat of Howie Kendrick. Joe Panik backhanded, made it look awful simple in the bottom of the 7th. Gathers, steps, and fires like he'd been doing it all year long. And Derek Law definitely enjoyed that.
I think if I remember right, that saved a run at the
sure did.
time. He's a Gold Glover. There's the last year's Gold Glove winners. Crawford won his second. 1994, Bonds, Lewis, and Williams. Here's Nick Franklin. Franklin takes a strike. Jonathan VR on deck, and then Brett Phillips. 2-0 Milwaukee. Looked like a pretty good pitch. And Panik on one hop as he goes down to a knee.
Right on cue. Makes it another nice play. Makes it look so routine and so easy, but that is not. I know you can speak to that.
That is a play where you get down as low as you can go so that you can read the hop, and that's exactly what he did.
It came in hot, hard one hopper. That is such a wonderful thing.
Here's Brett Phillips. This is his debut, his first at bat in the big leagues, and he takes down low 1-0. Phillips is playing because Travis Shaw is on paternity leave. This is VR. Phillips is on deck. So we'll try to recapture the moment after this hitter. VR hitting at .210 with 5 home runs, 24 driven in. And Samardzija pitches outside. 1 ball and 1 strike.
VR really burst onto the scene last year. He's having a little bit of a rough go this year.
More work for Joe Panik. 2 outs. And no sense repeating. Here's Phillips. But he will get a nice round of applause. Brewer fans well aware of this is his debut. In Colorado Springs, which is a great place to hit, he lit it up. He had 11 home runs and 41 RBIs. And a strike to Phillips. Also at .297. I always like these little notes the Brewers put out. It says, was neighbors with pro wrestling great Macho Man Randy Savage as a teenager.
Yeah, I saw that.
I don't know if I know Brett Phillips any better now or not, knowing that, but pitch is high. 2 balls and 1 strike. Foul back and out of play. The folks in the PR department who wrote these notes in parentheses after they gave us that note about Macho Man Randy Savage, he says, sorry, as a lifelong wrestling fan, there is no way I was going to leave this out. Foul back. This is a nice short powerful swing. You can see where he gets it from. Also says in most that used to play him in horse every day after school.
Yeah, and if you happen to get on YouTube, your Giants pitcher Will Smith tells him jokes, and this guy has an infectious laugh. It's one of the funniest videos you're ever going to see.
Swing. Ain't gonna miss, and that'll end the inning. It'll be Span coming up. So when
through the 11th. Tickets always available at sfgiants.com.
top of the order for the Giants, they trail 2-0. It'll be Span, Nunez, and Belt. And Span's going to lift one into left center field. That's going to fall in for a hit. Will it be more than a single? Span on the move. Here's a throw to second, and they got him. What a throw by Phillips.
That's a great play. Denard shoots one into the gap. They're shading him to pull. He's got to cover a lot of ground. Comes in, plants the back foot, and throws a rocket to VR.
I didn't think they had a shot. I didn't. And watch the tag right on to the foot of Span. So here's Nunez. Nunez singled in the first. That was the good news. Bad news is he got picked off. And a first pitch strike with Belt on deck.
One thing you notice with the Brewers, they have a lot of shading. They like to really dive into the numbers on where the ball is going to get hit. So there's definitely an infield shift and a little bit of an outfield shift as well. There's Craig Counsell right there.
Yep, baby face. Nunez lifts one to left. It's going to hang up. And it's Franklin who makes the catch. And here's Belt. You were teammates.
Yeah, Counsey and I played together in Arizona.
So somebody said to you, let's say 5 years ago, name your list of 10 guys you've played with that are likely to be managers, would he be on the top 10 list?
I tell you what, he's got baseball IQ, and initially I would have said no, but the more I got to play with him, and later on we played against each other, he was leaning that way. And it's kind of funny that he has his college coach as his bench coach now.
Belt takes a strike. It's 1 ball and 1 strike, and he's a native of Wisconsin.
He is, and they rewarded him with a 3-year deal, an extension, so they like what they see.
Belt drew a walk in the first.
One thing he's always been is a great communicator, and I think that's when you have a young club, you need a guy that can do that, and he fits the bill.
Buster Posey trying to get up. Belt needs to reach, and it's 3-1. Not unusual to see a 3-1 count to Brandon Belt. See if Brandon Belt gets a fastball here and he lets it rip. Well, I didn't see that coming. It's 3-2.
I don't think Perez did either. But when you need traffic, you'll take it any way you can get it.
Belt has tried probably 5 or 6 times this year, and he just keeps bunting it foul. He lines this one, and it's caught by VR, and that's going to end the inning. So the Giants get Span thrown out at second, and VR takes a hit away from Belt. It remains 2-0. Play. Top of the order, Sogard on deck, and then Santana. 0 for 5 on the season is Brandon Crawford to Brandon Belt. Giants Insider Podcast is back on NBC Sports BayArea.com, and it's brought to you by Max Muscle. Log on each week as insider Alex Pavlovich. He's going to talk baseball with players, coaches, and special guests, and more. Also available at the podcast on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, and Spotify. Alex is here. He is in Milwaukee. Here's Sogard, and Sogard takes low. 1 ball and no strikes. Alex only goes on the road to fabulous destinations, and Milwaukee is obviously that.
It's on everyone's bucket list, and if it isn't, it should be.
Absolutely. 1 ball and 1 strike. Sogard doubled over the head of Hunter Pence. See what Alex is doing right now. Alex is listening to his, well, he's probably listening to John and Dave. Might even have our game on. Or he's listening to his music. But give him credit.
He looks like he's
actually watching the game.
He's deep in thought.
Yeah.
About what? I have no idea.
I don't know. Maybe we don't want to know what he's watching. Sogard hits a high pop-up into left center field. 2 outs. And that'll bring up Domingo Santana. Really, it's never fair to put a camera on someone for a long time, because eventually you're going to do something and social media is going to blow it up. Santana with a base hit to right field. He rolls this one foul. Lined the ball past Joe Panic. Buster's going to
You get it. No, I get it. You
track
get
it down. The guy that's got the most pads on is the one that's got to go get it. Foul again. It's 0-2.
Samardzija is doing exactly what you wanted to see out of him tonight. He's really attacking the strike zone, but not just with the fastball slider. He's throwing curveballs, throwing the changeup, splitter in there. He's feeling good right now.
And a bell tie ball. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Got him, and that'll end the inning. Samardzija just settling in. See if the Giants can get some runs. It'll be Posey, Crawford, and Pence coming up.
SFN.com. And here we are with the top of the fourth. The Giants are down 2-0 to the Brew Crew.
Here's Buster Posey, and a big swing. Ain't gonna miss. Buster's first at bat was a roller to third, and that ended the first inning. Oh, 2. See the grimace on Buster's face as if to say, yeah, not real happy with maybe not necessarily the swing, but the fact that he actually did swing at it. And a base hit up the middle. You can see how he led the league in hitting.
It's such a beautiful thing. Again, gets that foot down. You look at him right here. He swung at a bad fastball away. Tries to get the little slider back out there, and he just gets that foot down, reacts, right back up the middle. It's like playing Pepper.
Here's Crawford, who drew a walk in the second. This is Crawford's park. This is the place where he picked up his first big league hit. You know, it was not an infield hit.
It's not. We had to clear the deck in the bullpen. I ended up catching it.
Is that the ball you sold on eBay right afterward?
Allegedly, yes. Don't laugh. I bought you dinner.
Oh. Well, Crawford wasn't making the coin that he's making now, so wasn't a whole lot that he could come up with. 1 ball and no strikes. And it's high. It's 2-0. It was really an odd time for the Giants. It was the second game after Buster got blown up at home plate, and the whole team was really in the dumps.
You're right. It was a really, really weird week.
Crawford hooks it foul. This was the grand slam we're talking about. Just got called up. He looks a little different. Still got that same swing.
Look at me on the hop. Boom. Right there.
Did I just see a bunch of old timers in that shot?
Let's turn back the clock game right there.
It's 2-1 to Brandon Crawford. And this gets away.
No catch.
So we'll see if that's a wild pitch or a pass ball.
There it is. A ball. It's a heater. Just sails on him.
We're going to make that a pass ball.
Yeah.
And the count is 3-1. So here's where Brandon Crawford likes to lean on a fastball if he gets one. Hunter Pence is on deck. And he fouls it the other way. It's 3-2. The Brewers do put on an overshift with Crawford. You don't see it that much with Brandon Crawford. You obviously see it all the time with the other Brandon.
Doesn't seem like they play many guys straight away.
No,
And again, sometimes it's a shift, sometimes it's just a shade, but not only in the infield, but even in the outfield.
so Posey at second, and it's 3-2. Out of play again on a fastball away.
Garrett's starting to spin out of his mechanics a little bit these last couple pitches, leaving the ball arm side. Pena's trying to set up something in. He's leaving him out over the plate away, which is good for any hitter.
And another 3-2 pitch. Sky to left. Franklin's going to catch. And Buster Posey with a bluff. 1 out. here's Pence.
Crawford, I think, would like that one back.
I think you're right.
Just missed it. Leaked back over the plate again. Just beat him just enough.
Pence hit a ground ball up the middle for a base hit in the second inning. Sharply on the ground. And Perez is going to throw high, and they just got him. Thames with a nice play.
Wotus on the phone checking with Chad Chap and Sean Dunston. Great play at third by Perez. That was hot. Let's see if Thames beat him. Yeah,
He did.
Sure did.
So that's going to leave it up to Joe Panic. Otherwise, the Giants are going to waste the leadoff double. Or make that a single in a pass ball. And Panic hit a pop-up that was caught by Perez in foul territory.
See if he could take advantage of one of these fastballs leaking over the plate.
Right there at the knees, and it's 0-1. Stay on deck. Here's the pitch. Nice block. 1 ball and 1 strike. Guerra has been pitching with people on base in every inning. Down low, with the exception of Span, who led off the third with a base hit, thrown out trying to go to second. But traffic in the first, traffic in the second, and more traffic here in the fourth. New baseballs for Ron Culpa. Now we got to have a meeting. So here's Garrett to Joe Panic. And a base hit. And is that going to get Buster in? We're going to find out. And it's going to get him in because Santana kicked it around. And it's 2-1. Well, we'll never know. But Phil Nevin thinking, I got to take a shot here. I got to take a gamble. There would have been a play at home.
Yeah, you never want to jam in any player, but when you're struggling to get some runs and get some offense, you're going. And you saw Joe peek right there. Joe actually peeked at Phil to see if he was going to send him around. And you see Santana come up, just stays at the end of the glove and wasn't able to get a good grip, and one across for the Giants.
And Calixte is going to hit with 2 outs. And he takes wide. He had 8 home runs in Sacramento, so the kid's got some pop. He's now 4 for 20.
Look at Panic, gets the base hit, takes a little peek at Phil. Look at him just to see if he's going to go. I'm not mad at it right there. You checking to see if the throw was going to go. Good for him.
It's 1-0. New baseball for Guerra, who has not been sharp. He's got 1 strikeout, and that was to Span to open up the game. There's Nev. Tough job. You're not going to get noticed unless guys get thrown out. And then all of a sudden, you start to hear it. It's 3-0.
Giants are doing a good job right now working the count on Guerra, taking 62 pitches out of him already.
So Samardzija's going to get a chance to hit again, and I don't know if they were actually pitching around Calixte or if they cared if they walked him or not, but we've seen enough of Samardzija, at least in batting practice. I get it. I get it. It's batting, but he can swing it. Foul back. Got a fastball at 92, and it snowballs in 1 strike. Get it down a little further down.
He'll use every bit of that 6'5" frame.
Absolutely will. It's Panic and Calixte, your base runners. It's 0-2 to Jeff Samardzija in a 2-1 lead for the Brewers. On the ground to third, and this will end the inning. Giants on the board. Brewers coming up. Thames to lead things off.
And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of San Francisco Giants Baseball Club, LLC.
Well, the 2017 All-Star Teacher is brought to you by Provident Credit Union, and you can vote at NBCSportsBayArea.com/AST. This is the 11th season, and the winner is going to receive $20,000 for his or her school. Remember, visit NBCSportsBayArea.com and vote, recognizing teachers that make a difference. You had one in your house, right?
Yes, I did. My mother was a very happy and successful high school Spanish teacher. Education was real big in the house.
The hitter is Thames. Thames hits a high foul down the left field line and out of play. Did she have her children speak Spanish at the table? Or try to or learn as much as they could?
You know, I have 2 older sisters, so they needed to hurry up and learn English. So both my parents were bilingual. We were all born in Puerto Rico, but when we moved over here, it was a lot of English. They would speak to us in Spanish. They still do, and we answer in English.
There's a swing and a foul. It's 1 ball and 2 strikes.
I didn't get to actually practice my Spanish till pro baseball, actually, when it really started, when I really needed it. And it was great. And I'm happy that baseball afforded me the opportunity to get my Spanish going again.
Here's the 1-2. And no swing. So when she was angry at Javier, did she get angry in Spanish or English?
It's definitely Spanish, and it was full name. It's just like anything else. When you get the full name, you're in trouble.
You are. Absolutely. Swing! You're going to miss. 94. Here's Hernan Perez.
It's 10 in a row for Samardzija. He's really getting into a nice groove here. He and Buster are on the same page, and you're seeing it. Quick work.
Perez with a sacrifice fly in the first inning. And he takes a curveball for a strike. Used that a lot the second half of the season last year. Really hadn't used it that much during the first couple of months of this season.
Missed the spot, but that split the plate. I think Buster's checking with him right now. Culpa might be telling him, hey, I missed that one.
Nunez to his left. Nice play. 2 down. Got on him fast. So here's Manny Pena.
See that right there. Buster's still talking to Culpa a little bit just to check in to make sure.
Pena bounced out to Nunez to end the first inning. The ball that Nunez just got, those are the ones as an infielder you don't want hit right at you. Hunter Pence on the move. Hunter Pence heads up, and he bounces up against that sidewall, and all it is a strike, and it's 0-1. I'm sure Hunter feels like he probably could have caught that, but on the other hand, look, he just come off the disabled list.
Yeah, got a great pitch there, jammed him. It's in that no man's land. It's a tough read, tough play. The ball just keeps running away from you, and you just start hearing the crowd get louder and louder. But it's a long strike.
On the ground, Crawford. Crawford to belt, and a nice inning. 12 in a row retired for Jeff Samardzija. Top of the order coming up. Autism Awareness Night, and it's a big night. Your ticket is going to include an SF drawstring backpack, a ticket to the game between the Giants and the Twins, and just a reminder, you need the ticket to get the backpack. Visit sfgiants.com/special events. Tight one here at Miller Park, 2-1 Milwaukee. And for the Giants, Denard Span is going to lead things off. Span, Nunez, Belt. Well, here's the pitch. Now I've almost seen everything. An overshift for Denard Span. There you go. If he hits it right at Sogard, I might quit.
As a hitter, you got to think you're just going to get nothing but stuff inside, correct?
Absolutely. Now Span steps out. Perez, the third baseman, is the only defender on the left side, and he can't play back because of the ability of Span to bunt. So something's going on here, and I don't know what it is. But the guy that's messing up is Guerra. He's the one out there thinking, what's going on?
I'm still talking to him.
So now Guerra's going to make Span wait, which means that they're going to make us all wait. All right, here we go. On the ground to first. And Span's retired. And here's Nunez. Nunez singled in the first and then hit a fly ball to left in the third. 5 hits for the Giants, 2 for Milwaukee. Milwaukee got their first 2 hits, the first 2 hitters that Samardzija faced. A double Sogard, a single Santana. And it's down low to Nunez. And the next pitch, and it's down low. 2 balls and no strikes. With Belt on deck, a 2-1 lead for Milwaukee. And fastball for a strike. He stayed right at 92 with that fastball. Really
nothing
consistent.
overpowering. Yeah, it's definitely nothing overpowering. That split finger is the out pitch, but it's been really consistent today.
Look out. Ooh.
You can see the fastball here that Nooney takes. It's off the plate. Copa, like we said earlier, he's gonna call that zone a little bit off all the way across, but usually just not up.
High drive to left. It is out of here. And on a 3-1 pitch, this game is tied. Well, he's got to be happy now that Culpa called that a strike.
There's not a pitch he doesn't really like. He's a free swinger. And there it was. Again, they're trying to locate inside. I mean, that's a pretty well executed pitch, but Nooney with the quick hands. Throw the head, kid. And there it goes. Second tank, no catch by the fan.
And here's Belt, and Belt takes a strike, and it's 0-1.
Belt doesn't like that call either.
4th home run from Nunez. Now back-to-back games.
You love seeing that. Smiles in the dugout, high fives.
He's got a good smile, too.
That's what you like to see with the Giants.
Belt. Oh, he'd like to have that one back. It was up, and he fouls it straight back.
It's a little rare breaking ball he's throwing in there, the curveball. Just beat the barrel there.
And he got him. Strikeout number 2, and here's Buster Posey.
That was a split finger to finish there. Well executed. Start in the zone, finish out of the zone. Took Belt's legs all the way out of that swing.
Posey bounced out to 3rd in the 1st and then singled in the 4th and scored. Foul back, and it's no balls and 1 strike. With that base hit, Mr. Posey came in hitting at 343. Now at 345. A little odd. I believe I've ever seen it on the scoreboard here at Miller Park. Along with the lineups, they put on base percentage. I guess that's okay. A little busy. Posey drives one down the right field line. It is foul. And not by much.
Chris Conroy all over that one.
Well, no one had a better view of it than Buster Posey as he was going down the line. He's not going to get many of those at AT&T Park, but you can get a few here.
See if he goes off speed here. He's been throwing fastball on him. See if he tries to bounce a split.
And he goes with another high fastball.
Sure
This has popped into the second deck, third deck.
He's been shaken away from the split.
That's the Buster Posey swing where the last thing he wants to do is put it in play. He just wants to see another pitch, and that's what he's going to get.
And I'm just going to stop talking because I said he's shaking away from the split, then he shakes to the split. So I'm just going to sit back, relax, and enjoy the Buster show.
All right, just watch this at bat, will you? 1 ball and 2 strikes. Straightens him up. 2-2. Fouled out of play again. Two balls, 2 strikes. And now we got a battle. A run in on the Nunez home run. Out of play again. You're always going to run into one guy that's going to kill your pitch count. And this is the guy for Junior Guerra.
Buster's done that to a lot of opposing pitchers.
He has. And what does he do? He fists one into center field for a base hit. And that'll bring up Brandon Crawford. Look at all the pitches he saw.
He's working him away, hard away a lot early. Like I said, he shook to the split. You saw one, and then he's trying to straighten him up. Went right back in with a fastball. And Buster once again just try not to do too much. Just drive it. Keep the line moving to Brandon Crawford.
So here's Crawford. And that fastball is high. 1 ball and no strikes. Hunter Pence would hit. We're in the 5th inning. And on the Nunez home run, the Giants have tied it up. So pitch number 89 from Guerra. Here it is. 2 balls and no strikes, and now VR is going to come in. Maybe just calm him down a little bit.
They're definitely going to try to get him through the inning. You want to see the Giants knock him out, but they're talking about it. Council's looking at Derek Johnson. They're talking about the bullpen and who's available and what they got. Last outing he threw 96 pitches. The outing before that 98. So they don't want to extend him too much.
See if Crawford gets something he can hit here. He does, and he hits one very high to right and into the corner and caught, and that's going to end the inning. Eduardo Nunez ties it up with his 4th home run of the year, and it's bye-bye baby. It's 2-2. On this date in 2008, it was the Major League Baseball draft. Now, the top 5 picks in 2008, they went with Beckham, Alvarez, Hosmer. That was, what is that? Matsu? Mattis. And then, oh, by the way, Buster Posey.
Who's that guy?
Gillespie, Kieschnick, and Crawford were also picked in that draft. And it never fails that we'll go to these different towns where somebody was picked before Buster Posey, like when we go to Tampa. That's all they write about, is they took Beckham instead of Posey. There's a fly ball to right. Hunter Pence has got a beat on this one, and Hunter Pence is going to put it away. Pittsburgh, Pedro Alvarez. Although I'd have to say the Royals are pretty pleased with Eric Hosmer. And he's a free agent, correct?
I believe so. They got double barrel going in the pen. You got Hughes, used to be with the Pirates last season. And Scahill on the right.
Here's VR. And a strike.
Pat Burrell loved to always say, since he was 1-1, would always be like, when did you get drafted? 3rd round, 4th round? What's it like to get picked so late?
Well, he could actually say, well, I was 5th pick in the draft, not 5th round, 5th pick. He was the first in the country, right?
Yeah, he was 1-1. So was Shawan Dunston.
So he and Dunston really couldn't one-up each other. They were.
But Burrow was great at that. He would just sucker one of these guys, these first rounders in that didn't know, and they're like, it was the 9th pick overall. And he'd be like, what's it like to get picked so late? Take the legs out right from under him.
And he got him with a fastball on the inside corner. I could also see Burrow saying it while he was walking away. So here's Brett Phillips. Phillips struck out in the 2nd inning. Remember, it was his major league debut. Is that the Phillips family? But it is. He taps this one foul. Gave you his numbers. Really had a great season going in AAA. 297, 11 home runs, 41 driven in. And the pitch is low and away, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike. So Samardzija with 4 strikeouts. He hasn't walked anybody. Swing. You're going to miss. 1 and 2. What major league pitchers will try to do to a rook is they'll find out at first if they can hit a fastball in, and then they'll go from there. A foul back. Now you miss out over the plate, then you know they're going to hurt you. But
like I was saying, he and Buster are on the same page right now. And like you were just saying just now, they've been pounding him in there with the fastballs. He's setting up the splitter down if he wants to go there. Backdoor slider, cutter if he wants to do that too. He got the backdoor slider but signed from Buster in the step out. Let's see if we go back to it.
Ooh. Didn't miss by much at 2 and 2. Got him. And that'll end the inning. For the Giants, it'll be Hunter Pence to lead things off.
Weekend, June 10th and 11th, the first 5,000 fans 14 and under will receive a Joe Panic bat and ball set on Sunday, June 11th. As always, tickets are available at sfgiants.com.
Here it's a 2-2 ball game. When it's time for a change, think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service, your oil change tune-up and brake experts.
Taking the mound is Jared Hughes, big old boy, 6'7", 240 pounds. The Giants saw a little bit of him in Pittsburgh last year. He's not punching too many tickets, but what you're going to see out of the guy is a hard two-seamer, mid-90s, and a slider.
And a breaking ball to Pence, and that's a called strike. Hunter Pence singled, and he's rolled out to third. Swing and a chopper foul. Giants with 2 runs on 7 hits. The Brewers 2 runs on 2 hits. Down low. 2-2. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. So Hughes gets Pence, and that's only the second strikeout in the game for the Giants. The first, or make that the third. Garrett struck out 2. So here's Panic. Panic's got an RBI in this game. Takes a strike. So Hughes working quickly, gets the ball back, looks right into Pena. And Panic ready to go as well with Calixte on deck. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. By the way, congratulations to the Warriors last night. We landed in time to watch the third quarter on the team bus, and enough time to watch the fourth quarter once we got to our rooms here in Milwaukee, under the backstop, and it was quite enjoyable, I have to tell you. It was great to see Steve Kerr back on the sidelines. It was great to see him.
It really was. That was great. And then LeBron James giving him a little hug.
Swing and a miss.
Regardless of what you think of the guy.
Talking Warriors. Warriors playoff coverage starts at NBC Sports Bay Area with Warriors Playoff Central, Warriors Cavs Game 3 before the game Wednesday at 3:30, and a great lineup after the game with Warriors Playoff Central. The happy hour and the outsiders on NBC Sports Bay Area Plus. Next day is 0 for 1 with a walk and a swing, and it's 0-1. Samardzija to follow. You can see how Hughes is so much crisper than Junior Guerra was. And you look, Guerra came in with great numbers, but he was just a little off tonight. 1-2. But still only allowed 2 runs on 7 hits. In the dirt, 2-2. The object here for Calixte is get Samardzija to the plate. That way you can have the top of the order lead off in the 7th.
Exactly right. And this is Hughes' problem, is that is just be able to repeat the delivery.
Strikes out the side. Samardzija coming back out. It's 2-2.
full-line automaker with the longest-lasting vehicles in America. Toyota, let's go places. By Heffernan Insurance Brokers, insurance and financial services for you and your business. Visit hefins.com. By Jack in the Box, come try the new sweet or spicy barbecue bacon cheeseburger and chicken sandwich. Limited time only. By Southwest, yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. By the all-new 2017 Chrysler Pacifica. And by AAA. Get a free Giants welcome mat. Restrictions apply. Go to AAA.com/Giants or to a AAA branch for details.
Here in Milwaukee, it's a 2-2 ball game. And we're going to get a pinch hitter. It's Keon Broxton. Broxton hitting for Hughes. And a strike on the outside corner. Broxton, 242 average. Swing and a miss, 0-2. Samardzija with 70 pitches here in the 6th inning.
He's in a nice groove.
6 home runs, 16 RBIs for Broxton. And a bit outside. Top of the order with Sogard on deck. Samardzija has not been in the stretch since the 1st inning. See, the most strikeouts in the major leagues so far this year, and Broxton's in the top 4.
Means you got a lot of chase zone.
Got him. Love the sausage races here in between innings. I picked Italian because I had one before the game. Lopez actually believed that that was part of the deal, but it was not sausage. And it was Italian.
The closing speed on those Italians.
Didn't I?
That's who you picked.
I did pick.
You're right. I'm just saying, around the turn,
Oh,
he had some ground to make up.
I got you. Second guessing my choice there. Fleming had Polish.
That's correct.
And you had anything that was there available
Exactly.
that was a little on the burnt side. 1 ball and no strikes to Sogard. I loved how you put John in his place, though. Javi got his brat, and look, you eat the brat the way you want to, the way you were brought up. Swing and a miss. Javi pulled out the ketchup, and John was like, "Oh no, oh no." And he's like, "Oh yes, this is how I eat them."
That's right. And I threw some mustard in there too. I took that brat around the world. Okay.
I'm the same way you are. Just whatever you got, I'm putting on it. Here's the 1-2. He got him. That last fastball was at 95 miles per hour, and it is our fast pitch brought to you by Xfinity, the fastest Wi-Fi at home and on the go. So Samardzija's now struck out 4 in a row. And here's Santana. Santana lifts one straight back and out of play. There's Bernie.
Trying to keep him right there.
Bernie at the old ballpark was his hut, his cabin was more towards center field. And we had a year where we couldn't get any Brewer out, and Frank Robinson actually thought that Bernie was stealing signs, and we thought he was kidding, and he wasn't. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. 1-2.
Baseball players and coaches come up with all kinds of conspiracies. We got way too much time on our hands sometimes.
He actually instructed one of us to keep an eye on Bernie, see if he was sending any signals. Ugh. The good old days. Here's the 1-2. Out of play. Outfield straight away. Thames is on deck. It's a 2-2 ball game. The next pitch for Samardzija will be 82. On the ground slowly. Panic to Belt, and Samardzija with another 1-2-3 inning. And the Sharks going to lead things off. It's 2-2. It's brought to you by your local Toyota dealer. It's been a 2-2 ball game since Nunez tied it up in the 5th inning. Samardzija has been fabulous. He's retired 18 straight. Nunez is 2 for 3. Junior Gara was out after 5 innings, and Sogard opened up the bottom of the 1st with a double and a run scored. When it's time for a change, think Speedy. Oil change and auto service, your oil change tune-up and brake experts. And there's your new pitcher.
Rob Scahill taking the mound for the 11th time this year. Another guy that was in Pittsburgh last year. The Giants have seen a little bit of him. Hard sinkers, about mid-90s is what you're going to see out of him, with a slider as well.
Sharp ground ball to the shortstop. And Sogard's going to make the play. 1 out. Solid contact for Jeff Samardzija, and that'll bring up the span. Span is 1 for 3.
Scahill with that low 3/4 delivery actually throws more of a cutter, I should say, than a slider. That one's probably right around 90. Primarily 2-pitch mix, but gets lots of ground balls.
Span looks at a strike. Singled in the 3rd. Try to stretch it into a double, and the rook. Brett Phillips threw him out. Nunez on deck. We're in the 7th inning. 2-2 ball game. The pitch to Span. Bouncing ball to second. VR has it. 2 down. Here's Nunez. hit his 4th to tie the game in the 5th inning.
There he goes, gets a fastball in, lets the hands work. Turn and burn, much like he did yesterday. He's really in a groove. He's really swinging a hot bat.
Singled in the 1st. Foul down the right field line and out of play. Well, they keep bringing in guys that came from the Pirates. The Pirates must have rebuilt their bullpen.
They sure did.
Both these guys throwing the ball pretty good.
They used a lot. They were used a lot last year. The Pirates aren't letting their starters go very deep in the ball games. They really taxed that bullpen.
Here's the 0-1. Foul again, nothing in 2.
And there's the cutter there just to keep him honest, a little something away. So far, 5 pitches, 5 strikes.
Two outs, nobody on. And another foul ball out of play. Dodgers will host the Nationals tonight. Nationals on a long trip. Remember, their road trip started out in San Francisco.
They stayed for a full week, right? They had the A's after that. Yep.
Not a bad town to spend a week in. Outside, 1-2.
Like we were talking about earlier, when it's a town that you don't have to pay for the hotel room, you just got to pick up some dinners. It's a pretty good one to be in.
Good walking town, good restaurant town. 1-2. Skied out to right, where Santana is going to come in. Hughes and Scahill, 6 up, 6 down. Bottom of the 7th coming up. Meet up front. Thanks, Mindy. Here it's a 2-2 ball game as we head to the Brewers half of the 7th. Samardzija to face Thames, Perez, and Pena. And the first pitch is wide. 1 ball and no strikes. Thames is flied out to left. And in the 4th, to open up the 4th, he struck out. 1 of 7 strikeouts for Jeff Samardzija. Down the left field line and out of play. In the 4th inning, this is how he worked him.
Where are you going to look at the sequence right here? He's trying to get that stuff away, but you got to keep these power hitters honest in. So that's what he's doing. He's kind of going in and away, and he's making them chase. Like Kipet said earlier, he had a great April, but he's kind of struggled a little bit. So you got to take advantage of that.
1 and 2 on that pitch down and in. Curveball. No overshift, but Crawford playing Thames to pull. So is Nunez at 3rd. Panic in shallow right field. Look out. Oh, you have to pay attention.
Oh, man.
That whistled over about 4 different kids.
Looks like everybody's okay. Hopefully.
And a 1-2 pitch. Here it is. 2 things. Look out. 2 and 2.
A little smirk from Samardzija on that one. Wanted him to chase, just had to get it off the grass.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Fouled again at the plate. That last pitch was at 96, so it gives you an idea the strength of Jeff Samardzija. Here we are in the 7th inning. That was an easy 96. Got him.
Thames didn't like it.
I bet you look at this one and it's going to be borderline.
I got to think it's pretty close too. Heater up and away, top part of the zone. That's not usually the zone that he's calling. He likes to be down around the knees, the thighs, but when you're pounding the strike zone like Jeff Samardzija's been doing tonight, umpires are more likely to give you that call, and the crew chief gladly obliged.
Buster may have helped him a little bit. Cued off the end of the bat, foul.
Oh, still got the ball boy.
That thing had some
Juked
spin
right
on it.
there. Yeah.
He's going, you know what? I have no chance of getting a date tonight.
That looked like Steph Curry dribbling against LeBron last night. Put him in the spin cycle. Look at this ball. I got you. I think.
Man, it started out so good. That pitch is high. 1 ball and 1 strike.
He's laughing it off.
A rocket hit to left, and that's going to be the first hit since the 1st inning. And for Perez, he's going to slow it down, and he's got a 1-out double.
He's trying to get that slider away. Just left it up, just enough for the hitters to handle it. Pulls it right down the line. Kalixe kind of fumbled it over here, tried to cut it off, and then feeling around for it, but Perez is going to pull up for a double regardless.
So Buster goes out to have a word with Samardzija. Pena has bounced out to 3rd and bounced out to short. A word with Crawford. This may be about the signs.
Definitely going over the signs, making sure everybody's on the same page. When you're in a tie ball game, every out's important, but especially late in the ball game, you want to make sure everybody knows what's going on. So Samardzija's just checking in with his Gold Glovers back there.
Keep an eye on this guy. So Samardzija out of the stretch for the first time since the first inning. On the ground towards the hole. Crawford on the backhand. He's going to knock it down and throw, and it's not in time. So it should be a hit for Pena. It will put runners at the corners.
There's a three hopper into the hole. It's that perfect tweener play, you know. Nooney's just trying to make a play. Crawford understands, and Pena had enough speed to get down the line.
So here's Franklin. Franklin is bounced out sharply to Panic in the second and hit a fly ball to right in the fifth. And now this becomes a strikeout situation for Jeff Samardzija.
He is one pitch away. He's been getting some ground balls, and I know Buster's been thinking about that. What pitch is going to get me a ground ball? They just got to be quick on turning it. Great first pitch.
Four pitches now for Samardzija. Crawford and Panic at double play death. Belt holding on the runner at first. Pena. And another strike. It's 0-2.
Painted that cutter away right there. Now he's like that pitch. He sped him up inside, soft away. Now I can go anywhere right here.
Does not have to be a strike. It's 0-2. Outside, 1-2. Here's the 1-2 to Nick Franklin. Instead, it'll be a toss to first. Pena not looking like he's going to go anywhere. Definitely
try to get that slider away. Just missed.
He's had Franklin just having to think about a couple of close pitches.
He's getting him in the rocking chair a little bit. He's going in, he's going away, he's going in, he's going away. Let's see if they double up. He's been feeling real good with that fastball though lately, so get a ground ball here.
Got him. Is that changeup?
I think there might have been yet another cutter, slider. When you look at Franklin, he just didn't seem to pick it up. Look at the hips fly open, the legs are gone. Just swinging at it with the arms.
Not out of the woods yet. Here's Jonathan Villar, who's bounced out and struck out. Strike, and it's 0-1. 9 strikeouts, no walks. Villar choking up a little bit on the bat. On the ground, foul. Uh-oh. Atta babe.
Third time's a charm. Crowd's letting them know. Fist bumps all around. Look at that.
Hey, he stayed on his feet. That's great. 0-2 to Jonathan Villar with runners at the corners here in the 7th. And it's high, 1-2.
Great idea going up. Samardzija's been down all game, especially against his at-bats against VR. Down, down, down. See if we can get him up and chase something.
Outside, 2-2. Pitch count wise now he's at 102. And really, what? Right now that doesn't mean a thing.
Nope. It's about getting back in the dugout. No stirring in the Giants' pen, nor should there be. Samardzija's pitched a heck of a game, and you want to give him a chance to get the W.
Quick toss. Not likely Pena's going to go anywhere. And the 2-2 pitch. Got him, and that'll end the inning. What a job by Jeff Samardzija. And that's his 10th strikeout. And now it'll be Belt to lead things off.
'17 returns with fast-paced, pick-and-play MLB action, packed with all your favorite MLB teams, players, ballparks, and much more. RBI Baseball today for PlayStation 4 and mobile devices. Learn more at rbigame.com.
2-2 ball game. Belt to lead things off. Rob Scahill stays in the game as he retired Samardzija, Span, and Nunez. So here it'll be Belt, Posey, and Crawford. How about that performance? So Belt trying to get on. He's 0 for 2. And he shoots one right away from the defense, and he's aboard. And here's Buster Posey. If Bell could do that, they would not They just wouldn't shift on him anymore. So Buster tonight is 2 for 3. Big hole between Thames and VR. And it's a low, 1 ball and no strikes. I would say that for Scahill, this would be the first time he's thrown out of the stretch, but he came in out of the bullpen thrown out of the stretch. Nope. 2-0.
Samardzija at the end of the last inning. Big fist pump, fires up the troops. You got to hope everybody's excited, and this leads to something big for the Giants, and Belt's got something going already.
Get the guy some runs. That's usually the rally cry in the dugout. And if not, then it should be. Swing and a miss. It's 2 balls and 1 strike.
It's about the one time you'll see Buster do that. He'll take that one big boy swing.
That's right. He'll guess, and if he gets it, he's going to take a big rip.
And now it's time to do a job.
He looked at Phil Nevin like there might be something on. And he rolls this one to third. That's 1. Not in time. And make sure he gets up, folks. And he is. So Buster beats out the relay. I think Buster wanted to beat this out. What do you think?
Yeah, he hustled down the line. Craig Counsell wants to take some time to take a peek at it. He's still waiting to see what his video replay guys say, but it looks pretty safe to me. And you can see Buster's not happy about that at bat.
Now, I think he's going back to the first pitch. So here's Crawford. Crawford is 0 for 2. He nearly knocked one out in the 5th inning. Caught right in the corner in front of the wall in right field. Swing and a miss. 2 balls and 1 strike. 8th inning. In a 2-2 ball game with Hunter Pence on deck. And that runs inside, evens the count at 1 ball and 1 strike. Giants got the Phillies going. They're leading Atlanta 9-3 in the 6th inning. Posey with his lead. Not close. The hit by Brandon Belt was the Giants' 8th. Milwaukee has 4. The pitch to Crawford. And it squirts away.
Catch.
And a late break, and Buster Posey is going to make it. Buster's hitting the dirt at every base so far.
Ball in the dirt right here, the no catch. Buster gets a good read, goes. Pena's still got a good arm, makes a nice throw off the back foot. Buster just eases his way into second. Right there, head first slide. And the Giants got a runner in scoring position.
Yes, they do. Posey scored from second in the 4th inning on the Joe Panic base hit.
And for Scahill, this isn't the situation that he likes. The lefties are hitting 333 off him this year, so you could very well see a pitch around with Hunter Pence on deck.
Well, we'll find out. I mean, Crawford has worked the count into his favor. And the walk. So I believe you were correct. And here's Pence.
They got some action in their bullpen now, trying to heat up. Looks like it's Oliver Drake trying to get hot down there.
Pence single in the second. Since then he's rolled out and struck out. In tight, and it's 1 ball and no strikes. The control that Cahill had in the 7th really hasn't been here in the 8th. Tapped, foul, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike. It's great to have Hunter Pence back. And
Sure
what put him on the shelf was a hamstring, and it really took a lot longer than he thought, and it took a lot longer than the training staff thought. This really would not. It would not just go away. It wouldn't get any better. But here he is back in this 1-1 pitch. Tap foul again. Identical. It's 1-2. He missed 20 games. And he's behind in the count, 1-2. Hit into center field. Phillips back, still backpedaling. He's going to make the catch. Buster Posey's going to tag and go to third, and when the ball goes to third, Crawford moves into second, and by Crawford going to second, that may actually take the bat out of the hands of Joe Panik.
I think you're right. They took advantage right there of the rookie. He's got a great arm, but it's tough to throw somebody out from the track, and great read by Brandon Crawford to move up.
And Kalikse's the hitter, but you know, look, he may not hit. So Bruce Bochy's calling him back, I think. And he doesn't know it yet. So Panik's going to be walked intentionally. And the former Brewer is going to hit. And he's going to hit with the bases loaded. So here's Hill. And Hill has had just one at bat against Cahill, and it was a double. Posey, Crawford, and Panik. And now Aaron Hill. And a pop-up straight back it out of play, and it's no balls and one strike. The pitch to Hill, outside and low, 1 ball and 1 strike.
Cahill wanted it, showing a little emotion there. I think what the Giants are looking for is Hill to put it together another at bat like he had a couple nights ago. Kept the rally alive. That fell a little short, but battled the pitcher, got a base hit to left.
Down the left field line. Is this fair? You bet it is. Posey scores. Crawford scores. Here comes panic. The throw is in time, and they get panic. But Hill comes through, and the Giants take the lead. Aaron Hill comes back and gets a big hit against his old team. It's 4-2 Giants.
Post-game live. Highlights, reaction, and analysis, and it's all coming up for you. Full hour right after the game.
So exciting. And here is the pitch to Aaron Hill.
Hill looking sinker, gets it. Keeps the hands inside the baseball, drives it down the line. That's a tough ball to keep fair. Just stays fair. But if there's a guy that knows the ballpark, it's a former Brewer, and Aaron Hill. And look at Nev just trying to get everybody in. Almost got away with it. The outfielder threw it to the wrong base. But a great relay throw, catches panic at home. But now Jeff Samardzija has the lead that he's been dying to have all night.
Hernandez is now in left field. And the hitter is going to be Brett Phillips. Phillips, his first major league game, has had 2 at-bats, and Samardzija struck him out twice. Swing and a miss. Samardzija with no walks, 10 strikeouts, and 105 pitches. Up the middle, and the first big league hit for Brett Phillips, and it comes on an 0-2 pitch. So the Phillips family very happy, as you would expect.
Samardzija tried to climb the ladder. It's right where Buster wanted it. You got to give Phillips some credit. Just put some bat to it. Panic was playing a little bit more shaded to pull. And Brett Phillips gets his first major league hit.
So Aguilar's going to pinch hit as Buster Posey goes out and has a word. Strickland and Osich are getting loose. Aguilar's a big fella. Got some power, as you would imagine, built like that. 274, 5 home runs, 18 RBIs. And the first pitch is wide. 1-0. Samardzija at the belt, Phillips with his lead. The last time the Brewers got their leadoff hitter on was the first inning. And a strike at the knees, and that'll even the count. Top of the order, Sogard's on deck.
Aguilar's really looking to do one thing. But he's also a good double play candidate.
Fouls this one off of Buster Posey, so it's 1-2. Where'd they get Buster? On the leg?
They keep trying to tie up the big fella. Something down and in, down and in. Looks like got him right off the side of the knee.
Yeah.
But this is where you'd like to see him maybe chase that cutter away, slider away.
Very close.
Wow.
I think that was it. It's 2-2. A little bit up.
Goes with the slider. Buster did his best to frame it just off the plate. I wouldn't mind if they double up.
Foul back. A pretty good extension on that swing. It remains 2 balls and 2 strikes. Samardzija looking in to Buster Posey. The pitch. Swinging a foul again off of Buster Posey. New baseballs for home plate umpire Ron Kulpa.
Really a great sequence of pitching you're seeing right there. Tying the big fella in. Trying to get him to chase something away. Keep him conscious in. Let's see if they go back away.
Hit on the ground to third. Nunez to Panic. Panic to Belt. Double play.
Great defensive play. Great turn. Nooney with an in-between hop still feeds it to Panic. And just like that, quickly 2 away in the bottom of the 8th.
I've always said that a second baseman would rather have a quick throw than a perfect throw. And you can see not a perfect throw to Panic, but a quick throw, which allowed him to do what he needed to do and then get out of there.
And you see right there, the Giants want this win really bad. You see Buster Posey with a little fist pump on the way down the first base line.
Here's Sogard, who pops it just below us. Inside. Samardzija with 115 pitches and none bigger than the one he threw to Aguilar to get the double play. And all it does is it just settles everybody down. High, 2 balls and 1 strike.
Osich and Strickland are ready, but after you get that ground ball and the defense makes a great play behind you, Shark is looking to do one thing, and that's to finish this on his own.
Down the left field line, and this is going to slice foul. All these new ballparks, they're fabulous. But more so than not, for the broadcasters, down the lines in the corner are dead zones for us. We can't see them.
You don't like the guessing game?
I don't like the guessing game. And the 2-2. And it's low to Sogard. With a 2-run lead and a 3-2 pitch, you let Sogard have at it. And a base hit. And Bruce Bochy's coming out.
It's a great play by Nooney again. Gets it to panic down. But look at Buster with a little fist pump. I mean, all these guys want it. And Samardzija, look at that. Power fist pump. Points up to Nooney. Lets him know that he did a great job.
So when it's time for a change, think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service. Your oil change tune-up and brake experts. We'll be back. Great job. The ball game will start at 4:30 with an hour-long pregame show at 3:30 right here on NBC Sports Bay Area. You can also, all season long, Giants games are available to stream live on the NBC Sports app, and check out Alex Pavlovich at NBCSportsBayArea.com. So here's Strickland. Those are the matchups. Strickland to face Domingo Santana. First pitch breaking ball, and it's 1 ball and no strikes. There's the numbers for Strickland.
Yeah, Giants fans, you've seen him many times now, coming on for the 24th game. He's been throwing the ball really well. Had a rough one in Philly, but you're just going to see 4-seam high velocities and sliders in the mid-80s. He gets a lot of ground balls on the fastball, too.
And a snap throw is Sogard, who singled with 2 outs, gets back easily. A threat to steal, yeah, but here probably not. Samardzija will watch. And he pitched to Jim. Strickland is just going to freeze everybody. So guy with his lead. There's a strike. The freezing thing I hated. I hated it as a hitter. And of course you can't ever admit that when you're actually playing. Is he going to throw? What's he going to do?
I think it's a great thing when you can slow it down. Again, it's all about tempo and rhythm, and when you can upset that timing, you're going to be successful.
Look out. I'm going to guess that that's a wild pitch.
I don't think you're very far off. It just got away from Strick. Buster quickly checking with him, make sure they're on the same page. The runner at second doesn't matter, and I'm sure Buster reminded him that. Samardzija may not agree, but we're just looking to get the third out.
Two balls in a strike. Two and two. Big lead at second for Sogard. Strickland to Santana. Got him, and that'll end the inning. 98 on the outside corner. We'll head to the ninth. Giants will try to add on. It's 4-2 San Francisco. When it's time for a change, thanks Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service, your trusted oil change, tune-up, and brake experts.
On the mound now for the Brewers is Neftali Felice. 6'3", about 220. Another guy that throws hard. You're going to see mid to upper 90s and a slider. Occasional changeup, but that's really what you're going to see is country hardball.
And Kelby Tomlinson is going to swing at the first pitch and foul it back. Tomlinson coming in, hitting at 241. His at bats now are coming basically one at a time, coming off the bench. Shoots this one foul right past Augiago's seal, and it's 0-2. Did our boy do it again?
Is he tying shoes?
What's he doing? Has he got a stash? He's got a stash.
Oh, look at that.
How about that? Good for you. Here's the pitch. Very high, 1-2. Span on deck, and then Nunez. Tomlinson takes high.
Neftali, yet another Pittsburgh Pirate that's found a home here in Milwaukee.
Unbelievable.
And obviously, again, Pittsburgh has had a good bullpen the last few years, so might as well pluck them when you can.
Tomlinson wrecks one into center field for a base hit. There's a nice flat swing you see out of Kelby Tomlinson. And that'll bring up Span.
Look at Kelby. He's never trying to do too much damage. He's just trying to get on base. And keeps that bat barrel through the zone, and now he's on face, and he can run. He can run now, and I'm not sure if this is exactly what they're going to want to do, because then you close up the hole for Denard. But if they want to try something, he's the guy that can do it.
Span is 1 for 4. Nunez on deck. High and tight. 1 ball and no strikes. Giants now double digits in hits. They've got 10. Tomlinson with his lead, and he gets chased back on a soft toss to first. Tomlinson can run a little bit. I mean, he's came up as a prospect with good speed. Span takes just a little high, so it's 2-0.
There's Melanson warming up, taking his time. Late in the ball game, and when the Giants can get the leadoff runner on as a reliever, it just becomes stressful for Felice now to really try to execute.
Falls behind 3-0.
Those add-on runs, they cost the Giants a couple games in Philly, and be a nice time to get a couple add-on runs for themselves.
Takes a little off at 96. 3 balls and 1 strike. Runner goes. Pitch is high. He walked him. You might remember Feliz was the closer for the Rangers when the Giants played him in the World Series in 2010. And I think he's throwing just as hard now as he was then.
He had a few years where he had a little dip in velocity. Yeah. And he just came back, stuck with it, came back, had to bounce around a little bit.
So here's Nunez. Nunez singled, flied out, homered, and flied out. He's 2 for 4. Tomlinson at second, Span at first. And it's outside, 1 ball and no strikes.
That year that you're actually talking about, he had 40 saves, and he was an all-star that year in 2010. And he got a Rookie of the Year vote.
Remember Giants were underdogs. Massive underdogs against the Phillies. Big underdogs against the Rangers. Nunez fouls it back. I remember Ron Washington before game 1 said, well, they haven't played an American League team yet, so we'll see how this one works out. And if I remember right, Timmy was a little shaky, didn't throw a ball to third, and all of a sudden it looked like, well, maybe Washington was right. No. 1-1 to Nunez. 2 balls and 1 strike.
And I feel bad. I don't want to shortchange Neftali. He actually won Rookie of the Year. I shouldn't say he got a Rookie of the Year vote, thinking he only got 1 vote.
Well, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah. They had both Rookies of the Year in the World Series that year. Buster Posey and Neftali.
Nunez with a healthy rip. It's 2-2. I think there's a lot of amazing things that happened in that series. But Bumgarner not old enough to take a drink. Breezes right through Vladimir Guerrero and that whole group. 2-2. Skied out to right center field. And they drop it. Well, they're going to force play at second. The throw, everybody's safe. So Phillips and Santana coming together just enough where it threw Phillips off, and now the bases are loaded. I got it, you take it.
Yeah. You always give it to the center fielder.
He did have a shot at getting Span even after he picked it up.
He did, and this is exactly what we were just talking about. When you have to pitch in a close ball game and you got traffic, now he's really having to press.
And Belt laying in the weeds, follows the first pitch back and out of play. And Phillies added a little on that. He threw that at 97.
Well, I think he's thinking now I got to try to do it myself.
It's Tomlinson, Span, Nunez. And the 0-1 pitch to Belt. Look out. 1 ball and 1 strike. Phillies maybe pitching a little angry right now.
I'm sure he's a little hot. He's having a down year by his standards, but the Giants, you don't care.
No. Not at 23 and 35. Belt shot a ball into left field for a base hit in the 8th. And he takes high again. Belt will not help you out, especially on pitches up. It's 2-1.
No, and even tonight, Ron Kolpa is not helping you out on those pitches up.
So Belt's going to step out, but not for very long. Giants are leading 4-2. They're trying to add on here in the 9th. Belt with a base hit to right. That'll move everybody up 1 base. It's 5-2. As the throw comes in, and instead of backing up, Phillies caught it in front of the catcher Pena. And now Buster Posey's going to hit with the bases loaded. So Belt placed it perfectly. And here's Buster, who's got 2 hits tonight. And we've said this before. This is the kind of guy that he likes.
You're right. He loves the hard throwers, and there's no end in sight. The bullpen is just now starting for the Brewers.
And the first pitch is high, 1-0, and it was not a fastball. So the rookies of the year facing each other.
How about that? And a chance for Buster to rack up a couple RBIs here.
2-0.
This might be the count, just like his last at bat. 2-0, let her fly.
Absolutely. There's nobody out. Span. Nunez. Belt. The pitch. And he did. And he fouls it straight back and out of play. That may have been one of the few times you see Buster Posey. He was going to swing at any fastball that came close. And he might do it again.
He had him in a crippled count. He was waiting on one pitch. Wouldn't be surprised if he does it again.
2-2. And still a strike left. 2 balls, 2 strikes. So he's going to have a little meeting with himself as he steps out, but now back in. 2-2. Up the middle. Knocked down. They'll get it out at first, and coming in to score is Span. So the Brewers had a defensive player right around second base. So both runners move up. It'll be an RBI for Buster Posey. And the hitter will be Crawford. And Crawford will hit with first base open. So you see the look on Buster's face as if he's not quite satisfied with that RBI.
You gotta want, he's got to be like, why is that guy there?
So Crawford tonight is walked twice. He's 0 for 2. The pitch. They're going to foul back. It's no balls and 1 strike. And the reward for all of that for Buster Posey is he gets to put equipment on.
And this is where the Giants have to decide if they can get somebody hot or if they're just going to go with Melancon.
Look out. 1 ball and 1 strike. I always wondered about closers and if they're actually cheering for that 4th run or not.
I don't think they ever are, but I tell you what, if you're not getting consistent work, you just want to be out there.
Absolutely. In tight to Crawford. It's 2 balls and 1 strike. And now all of a sudden for Phillies, he's thrown 27 pitches. And they're going to walk him intentionally.
And they got Peralta warming up in the pen. And much like you were saying, we can't really peek into the dugout from here. There's Craig Counsell thinking it over. And he's seen this happen the last couple nights. So
he's got that bad enchilada look. Kind of like the look you had. So Melancon still throwing, and here's Pence. Pence chops one.
Oh, this could be trouble.
And the throw will be to first, and coming in to score is Nunez. And the ground attack has picked up a couple of RBIs. It's now 7-2.
Ground and pound. I've seen titles won that way.
Yeah, I think you have. So here's Panik. Joe Panik knocked in a run on the 4th with a base hit. He's 1 for 3. And the pitch. And a called strike. If you're Joe Panik, hey, look, you want to tack on some RBIs? Here you go. So for the first time in a while, Phillies is ahead of a hitter. It's 0-2, and the next pitch will be number 31. high. 1-2. The Dodgers and Nats are underway. The game is 0-0 in the second inning. Here's the 1-2. Up the middle. On the backhand is VR, and he's going to throw Panic out, and that'll end the inning. Giants add on. They score 3. It's 7-2 San Francisco. (7-2) Giants. As we go to the bottom of the ninth. When it's time for a change, think Speedy. Oil change and auto service. Your trusted oil change, tune-up, and brake experts.
And taking the mound for the Giants is Mark Melanson, and he's on to get, at this point, getting some work in. Since they added on those runs last inning, but it's nice to see him out on the mound. Something that the Giants fans haven't seen as much as they would have liked. But this guy, what you're going to see is a lot of cutters, usually low 90s, 91, 93. Use the occasional curveball, he uses a knuckle curve grip, and that's about low 80s. And you're going to see lots of strikes.
Yeah, one of the stars of this game was Jeff Samardzija. These are his strikeouts.
He looked great tonight. He was just filling the strike zone up. He had 10 punchies, 0 walks. I think he'll take that any start, but that's his 7th start with 0 walks. So, I think the Giants are excited, and I know he's excited about that outing. Last 7 starts, he's had 1 walk and 59 strikeouts.
Did you say 59?
59. Again, if you're into really, really good numbers, you're welcome.
Here's Thames. Thames is 0 for 3, and he takes a strike. Samar just struck out Thames twice. He also got him on a fly ball to left. Here's where you have a nice lead, but yet the way this game has been played, you want to stay into a good rhythm and just not even give up any runs in the ninth and just make that carry over into tomorrow. Giants have had games this year where they've had big leads and the opposition comes back, and even though you had a pretty good idea they were going to win, it just was a little sloppy at the end, and Bruce Bochy does not want that.
First outs are always important. I don't care what inning it is, what the score is, but when it's in the 9th inning, it's the most important thing.
Got him. It's the hat trick for Thames.
I think that's a guy the Giants would love to see struggle for the next 3 days.
I think you're right.
There it is, the cutter. I mean, you got to thank Mariano, honestly.
I mean, that was at 94.
94 paint pellet, outside corner. Thank you, Mariano, for showing Mark Melancon that grip.
Absolutely. Here's Hernan Perez, who's 1 for 2. Up the middle. Speared in the dirt. Belt falls down. 2 down. Like I said, nice and clean and smooth here in the 9th.
Well, Melancon's doing the best he can to make sure Brandon Belt gets one of those gold gloves. Trying to hook him up with a tough play.
He's trying to wake Sparky up here. Come on.
Wow.
I think he did. Two down. And the hitter is Manny Pena. Pena with an infield hit in the 7th. And the pitch. And there's a strike at the knees. Melanson kind of rocking sideways, and then he stops. Almost uses that glove like you'd see a sight on a gun. He looks right over top of it.
He's being very efficient tonight, too. 5 pitches, 5 strikes.
Hit out into left field. And that's the ball game. So game 1 in this 4-game series, it goes to the Giants. And I do believe that this one is all about Jeff Samardzija.
I agree. He looked great tonight. It's what the Giants needed. They needed another great start. Ty Block provided one in the first game of the Phillies series. Now you got Jeff Samardzija starting one off for this Brewers series. This next 3 nights are going to be important for the Giants to get back home on a happy note.
So game 1 goes to the Giants, and it'll be Matt Cain tomorrow night against Chase Anderson. Final score here at Miller Park, where the roof is open on a nice night. Giants 7, Brewers 2. Stay tuned. Esurance Giants postgame live with the fellas starts right now.